We are continuing our series on Niagara Fluids in Unreal Engine. In this video, we are going to create a burning tree effect with the help of Niagara Fluids. You can apply this technique to any medium scale simulations of fire like car burning effect, fireplace effect, etc. So without any delay, let's jump into Unreal Engine.
My name is Viral Shah and welcome back to my channel RenderRebels.
I am using this dead tree from Quixel Megascan and we are going to use this asset to create a burning tree effect from Niagara Fluids. If you are new to Niagara Fluids, I would recommend to check out my introduction to Niagara Fluids. Before starting, we need to make sure that in plugins, we have enabled Niagara Fluids and Niagara Sim Cache. So just make sure both are turned on because at the end, we are going to cache our sim. Let's close this now. Let's go to content drawer. Now let's create a new Niagara system. I am using Unreal 5.4. So if you are using 5.3, just follow along. You will not see this icons, but you will see the names. So just make sure that you select the same name. So we are going to create a empty Niagara system here and we are going to name it to burning tree. Now let's just double click on this. As you can see here, we are having a empty emitter and we are having our Niagara system here. Let's just first rename this to tree emitter. Now I want certain emitters to emit out of this tree so I can create the fire effect. So this is divided in two stages here. First is we need to emit some particles out of our asset, which is our tree, and then from that particles we need to create smoke and fire for that burning tree effect. Now let's just add some particles into our scene. So we are going to go to emitter update. We are going to type here spawn rate and we are going to spawn some particles. Let's start with 1000 here and let's just press enter. As soon as I do that, you can see we are getting some particles born at the same place. Now what I need to do, I need to change the size of this particle. So go to initialize particles and here you will find we have a sprite size mode. We are going to go it to random uniform. So I want a certain size, let's say from 0.5 to 0.1. And now if I zoom in, you can see we are getting some small particles here in our scene. Now we need to add our tree asset into this particle system and tell Unreal that emit certain particles from that tree. To do that, you need to go to particle update here. And now you need to load your mesh into this preview mesh here. So let's just go here. Let's just check the name. It's s underscore dead. So we are going back here. We are going to search here s underscore dead and we are going to load this tree here. And now if I zoom out, you can see we are emitting particles from this tree now. Now let's just increase particles because as you can see, we are not getting that much particle here. So let's again go back to spawn rate. Let's just take it up to 20,000. And now you can see we are emitting 20,000 particles. To emit smoke and fire from our particles, we need to add fluid to our tree emitter here. So let's just go to particle update. Let's just search for fluid and let's just add set fluid source attribute. So this will make sure that our particles emit smoke and fire into our scene. Now let's add master gas emitter to our scene to emit smoke and fire. So let's just right click, add emitter. And we are now going to type here master and we are going to add grid 3D gas master emitter into our scene. And now you can see we have smoke into our scene along with the tree particles. Right now our smoke is emitted from this sphere. We need to emit smoke from our particles here. So let's just stop this. Let's just go to our source tab. We need to make sure that our sphere source is disabled here. And we need to make sure that our particle source type is changed to emitter here. And then you need to make sure that your emitter binding is set to the name of tree emitter, which we have given over here. Now if I play, you can see we are not getting smoke from our particles because we need to change our particles to GPU sim to affect Niagara. So let's just go to our tree emitter particle. And let's just change from CPU sim to our GPU compute sim. And we need to make sure that from dynamic we switch to fixed here. And now if I go back and click on play, now you can see our particles are emitting smoke. Now we need to make sure that our grid covers the whole tree here. As you can see, it's going outside. So let's just go to our emitter summary. Let's just go to simulation tab again, and let's just make sure that our x-axis world size is set to around 600, so our tree stays inside here. Now let's just move this from positive to negative here. So we are going to affect our local pivot here, so let's give it 0.2, and now we will see we are shifting from left side to right side. So let's just give 0.1 here, and I also need to make sure that my z boundaries are also having some breathing space here. So let's just go around 1200, and now you can see we are getting a result of something like this here. And now if I click on play here, you will see our tree is emitting some really good smoke here. But as you can see, we need to turn on the dissipation of the smoke because our smoke is leaving way too much. So we are going to go to our dissipation rate density, and we are making sure that it's set to around zero point 0.6 here. I have opened reference in my second monitor. So whenever you are working on FX, make sure that you are having a proper reference here. Let's just play again. And now you will see our smoke is dissipating faster here into our scene. Let's just take it to 1.3 here. We want fire to be more visible than the smoke. So this is looking good right now. Now let's just introduce temperature here, and as soon as you do that, you will see something like this. Your scene seems to be way too blown out. So we need to rectify this. In order to correct this, you need to go to your set fluid source attribute, and you need to decrease your temperature here. So let's just take it to 0.5, and now you can see it's reduced. So let's take it to 0.1 here, or 0.12 here, and now you can see it's really got reduced here. Now we are again going to our emitter summary here. We can go to our source here, and we can change our temperature scale as I shown you before also. So we can take it up to 20 here. But the thing is that we are emitting way too much fire again. So we are going to go to simulation tab, and then we are going to dissipate the temperature also. So let's just take the temperature dissipation to around 1.5 here, and let's just play again. And now you can see we are getting results something like this. Yes, our smoke is still bit much higher. So we need to go to dissipation rate to, let's say, 1.8 here. And let's just go back and let's just play again here. And now you can see we are getting some really good result. And let's just take the dissipation rate of temperature also to around 2 here. Now let's add some turbulence and some vorticity into our scene here. So we are going to go to our forces, and we are going to take the vorticity to around, let's say, 6 here. And also we are going to increase our resolution here, and let's just take the resolution to around 300, and let's take the pressure solver iteration to around 12, as you remember in our last video. And now you can see we are getting some really good result. But as you can see, we are still getting some really high smoke. So we can dissipate it furthermore to 2.5. We can also go to render tab, and we can take our smoke color to black here, and let's just press OK. And then we are going to change our temperature range from 1 to 1.5, and there you go. This is looking really good now. Let's just add it to our scene now. So let's just go to our scene. Let's just go to content drawer and make sure that we drag and drop our burning tree into our scene here. And as soon as I do that, you can see we are emitting this fire into our scene. And now we need to align it to our dead tree here. So let's just go to our dead tree. Let's just copy our location here. So right click, copy, and let's just paste it to our burning tree here. And now we are going to move this burning tree to our dead tree. So we are going to parent it. Just hold left click and drag it to your dead tree here. And now you can see we have parented this. Let's just hide the particles also, because right now you can see we are getting this particles also into our scene. So let's just go to burning tree. Let's make sure our sprite renderer is turned off here. And we also want to hide our bounding box here. So we are going to go to 0 here, and we are going to go to our emitter summary, our simulation tab, and just turn off the drop bounds here. You will see now that we have hide that drop bound here. Now, as you can see here, we are getting some really good result of our burning tree, but we are having little particles here. So we are going to increase our particles here. Now we are going to delete all the lights and add just a spotlight. So let's just select all the lights from our scene and let's just press delete here. And now you can see we are getting a result something like this. Let's add some spotlights into our scene. So let's go to create, let's go to lights and let's just add a spotlight into our scene something like this. And let's just move it upwards, and then we are going to take it to movable, and we are going to increase the attenuation radius here, and we are going to increase our outer cone angle, and we are going to move our light somewhere over here, and we are going to take a duplicate of this light and we are going to move it somewhere over here. And now what we can do, we can increase our intensity here, and we are getting something like this. And if you remember from our beginner series video, we need to turn on our volumetric shadow here. So let's just turn this on now. I'm going to work in our viewport only because this is going to lag way too much. So we are going to take this out here. We are going to increase this and just tag it over here. Let's just go to our emitter properties and emitter spawn rate, and let's just take it from 20,000 to maybe 25,000 here. And now you can see we are getting way more particles, but the particle scale is way too much, way too big here. So we can just take down our radius here. So go to set fluid source attribute and take the radius to around 2 here. And as soon as I do that, you can see we are getting less particles because our radius is smaller here. Then we can go up to 5, and you need to adjust and play with the settings here. So let's just randomize this by clicking on this V icon, and let's just take it to our random range float, and let's just take from maybe 3 to 5. So it will stay between 3 to 5 value here. And now you can see we are getting some really good result here. And what we can do, we can increase the temperature also. So let's just take it to 0.2 here. And now you can see we are getting something like this. Let's just take our minimum to 4 and maximum to 5 or maximum to 7 here. And now you can see we are getting this result here. Okay. So let's just go to our emitter summary again. Let's just make this bigger here. And now what we can do, we can play with our settings here. So let's just play with our dissipation rate of our temperature. So let's just take it to 1.5 now. And now we will see our fire is getting longer here. And same we can do for the dissipation of our smoke also. So let's take it to 1.5 here also. And now you can see guys, we are getting this result, but in viewport, it's not looking good because we need to cache this out. In few minutes, I am going to show you how to cache out your sim. So let's just go upwards. Let's just add some wind here. So let's just go to forces and let's just scroll downwards and let's just calculate the wind, and let's just add wind in X and Y direction. So let's just take it to 1 by 1 and let's increase the wind magnitude to around 20 here. And now you will see we are getting this vibrant fire look of a burning tree. Now to make this more better here, we are going to add a dark material to this dead tree here. So we are going to first save out our scene because Niagara keeps on crashing when I increase the resolution here. So let's just save the scene first. Now our scene is saved. Let's just change our dead tree material. So let's just select our dead tree. Let's just double click on our material here. And let's just turn on our albedo tint and our albedo controls. Let's just make sure that our saturation is set to 0. So we get something like this. And let's just turn the contrast to around 3 here. And now you can see we are getting this black kind of dead tree material here. So it's like a burnt wood, something like that. So we can now decrease the brightness also to 0.5 and you will get something like this here. Now you can increase the saturation to 1 and you can see we are getting this really good wood burnt material. We can save this out, we can close this, and now you can see we are getting a result of something like this. but we need to increase the resolution. Let's say you want to make use it for cinematics and that kind of stuff, then you need to increase the resolution here, and you need to make sure that you, now let's say guys you want to increase the resolution here, but you are not getting that result into your viewport, then you need to cache out the sim here. So let's just go to our burning tree. Let's just double click on our Niagara system here. We are going to pause this. So we have now paused the render here, and we are going to go to our grid emitter, and we are going to select our emitter summary, and we are going to go to our simulation tab, and we are making our resolution max to, let's say, 450 here, because we are going to cache out our sim same as Houdini. So let's just take it around 450 here. Let's just save the scene again, and now you can see we are not getting that really good look here. You can see we are getting this clip effect here, so we can increase our grid in x-axis here. So let's just increase the draw bounds to, let's say, 700. So we are getting much bigger space here, and now you can see this is looking nice, but I'm not getting that detail look here. To achieve that, you need to cache out the sim here, and now you can see we need to increase a bit further here. Now you can see our boundary is still getting cut here, so we are going to reduce the wind speed. So let's just go to forces, and let's just reduce the wind speed to around 10. Now our wind is reduced. Now we need to cache out this sim to get some really high quality result. So you need to go to sequence here and add a new level sequence. Let's just name the sequence here to burning tree tutorial, and let's just press enter. Now you need to add this Niagara system to your sequencer here. So just drag and drop your burning tree, then click on this plus icon, add your Niagara component. Now click on Niagara component and add your Niagara cache into your sequencer. As soon as you do that, you will see that you are getting this record button here. So when I press on this record button, it is going to cache out my sim. So let's just increase our timeline from 150 to, let's say, 400 here. And after doing that, you need to press on this record button, but let's just change first our frame rate to 24 fps here. And now let's press this record button. It will take around 10 to 12 seconds to cache out the sim, and then you can scrub in the timeline and you will get this high quality result. So let's just first have a look at this, how it's looking right now. Now let's just press on this record button to cache out the sim. And now the recording is completed. Our sim is now cached out, and if I click on play now, you can see we are getting this quality here. Let's just make it more better here by adding a post process volume and a camera. So let's just do something like this here. Okay, now let's create a camera. Let's click on this burger icon. Let's create a sign camera actor here. Let's just go to our sign camera actor. Now let's just switch from digital film to film. Now let's disable our focus here, and we are going to increase our focal length to around 50. Okay, so we are getting something like this here, and if I click on play, you can see we are getting a burning tree effect. Now let's add a post process volume and do some color corrections here. So let's just click on this create icon. Let's go to visual effects. Let's add a post process volume. Let's just turn on the infinite bound here. Let's just take our metering mode to manual, and let's just increase our exposure compensation to around 10. And now we are going to work with our bloom here, and let's just take the intensity around 0.3. Now to make it more better here, we are going to add a local exposure. So just scroll down, turn on the highlight contrast and shadow contrast, and then turn on the detail strength. Take the detail strength to around 1.4, and take the highlight contrast until you see something like this into your white portion, into your highlight portions. So you can see we are getting result of something like this here, and this is looking nice. And now if I click on play, you can see we are getting something like this. So this is looking much more realistic. Now if you want to play more, you can scroll downwards here. You can go to color grading, add a temperature here. So let's just change to color temperature. Let's take it to something like this here. And now let's just increase a saturation a bit. So let's just take it to 1.1 or 1.2. This is just a demo of how you can create that burning tree effect. You can add embers into your tree here. You can emit some particles which react as an embers into your tree, which are going upwards and falling downwards. You can do that easily with the help of your Niagara system. If you want to learn that, just let me know in the comment. I will also teach you that how it can be done. Now if you feel that your fire highlight is brighter, then you can tweak this also. So you can go to your burning tree, and you need to make sure that in render you can go your temperature rate to 2, or you can decrease it from your set fluid source attribute from zero point 0.2 to zero point 0.1, and then just cache out your sim again, and then you can render it out. This is my final output that I created by spending 2 to 3 hours and looking at my reference and tweaking again and again Niagara fluid settings and particle settings. You can also achieve the similar result if you spend some time on this. I hope you like the video. Just go through my video 2 to 3 times if you find it's way too fast. And if you have any doubt or any queries, please feel free to ask me in the comment section below. We are now going to move to more big scale simulation in the next video. Till then, if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and see you next time. Bye bye guys.